Okay, so the first problem here is in the figure below, segment PA and segment PB are tangents. That's exactly what the last video described. So they're tangents to the circle with radius segment OA equal to 8 units. If the measure of angle APB is 38 degrees, find segment lengths PA and PB. So those are the tangent segments. They're congruent to each other, right? All the information we have here is the 38-degree angle and this 8 radius. We also know that that's a 90-degree angle when I sketch the radius in to the point of tangency. So one way to look at this is at the moment, you want to look for right triangles, right? So we have right angle, and we can clearly create a right triangle right now if I bisect that 30-degree angle right there. So now I have a right triangle that I can work with. I have an angle measure. Now, the 38-degree angle was just bisected, so this angle right here is measuring 19 degrees, right? So if you think about it, with respect to this red angle, 19 degrees, I have an opposite side length, and I'm looking for segment AP or PA, this one. So I can use a standard trig function to do that, sine, cosine, or tangent. So in this case, I have an opposite, that's the 8 with respect to 19 degrees. And then this segment here, that red segment, the long leg of the right triangle is the adjacent side length. So that means we could use the tangent function here, right? So what I've done is I've enlarged the triangle for us. I've labeled it. Same concept here. So I labeled this side as X, the adjacent side. I just called it X when I set up my equation. So I'm going to set up tangent of 19 degrees is equal to opposite 8 divided by adjacent X. You could alternatively use the cotangent function, but I personally prefer to use just sine, cosine, and tangent and not the co-functions. I just find it easier to enter in my calculator that way. So this is a proportion you're looking at, and to solve this proportion, you cross multiply. And in doing so, we end up with X times tangent of 19 degrees equals 8. And then to isolate X, we're going to divide both sides by the tangent of 19 degrees. And we're now going to start working on how to identify exact value measures, just like we always have in terms of pi with radians, but now we're going to be dealing with more of an expression. So the exact side length there is X equals 8 over 19 degrees. That's a unit of a linear unit of measure. The units were not given like centimeters or inches, but so we just write units. We also know that that segment PA and PB are congruent because they are tangent. And the approximate value here is 23.23 units. Remember, you need to include units now because you're going to be identifying angle measures and linear measurements. And you have to specify the unit of measure there. Is it centimeters or is it degrees? Also, double check your calculators. You're working in degrees in most of this. So, you know, occasionally you'll have to use radians for a certain problem, but make sure you double check before you enter stuff into your calculator.